Thank you very much. And I really appreciate all of you being out here with us this morning, to coming out and watching firsthand all of our deputies, police officers, and firefighters, along with really everyone who's out here because, and I'll talk about this as I'm moving on, we can't do an exercise like this without everybody who's out here cooperating with us. It becomes very, very important. But in this day and age, unfortunately, it's not an if, it's almost when. And it's unfortunate to stand up here and say that, as we have been part of actually realistic incidences just like this. In the wake of recent active shooter tragedies that we have unfortunately encountered ourselves here locally in Monterey Park, north of us in Oakland, and Half Moon Bay, it is important that law enforcement in Los Angeles County, along with our law enforcement partners, work together, communicate, and coordinate to ensure safety on all of our campuses across Los Angeles County. As the sheriff of one of the most populated counties in the state of California and the largest sheriff's department in the country, it is imperative that we, along with all of our partners, are prepared and well trained to handle an active shooter situation. In 2021, the FBI reported a 52.5% increase in active shooter incidents from the years between 2020 and 2021. I am sure once the FBI gives us an update from the recent 2 years, we can expect, unfortunately and sadly, that number to increase. Executing training of this magnitude is beneficial for all agencies involved, as it brings local responding agencies together under a unified command, which is crucial to bring resolution to any incident whatsoever. The active shooter scenarios that are taking place consist of a series of dynamic situations or scenarios. This training will test the first responders' knowledge and experience in critical incidents during rapidly evolving situations and allow them to make crucial decisions to save lives. Our Tactics and Survival Unit, TASK for the acronym, have implemented simulated gunfire, flashbangs, fire alarms, and smoke machines. There will also be role players who have undergone real-life injuries via makeup. During the training, deputy personnel and our first responders will be dispatched to a mock call regarding an incident here at Biola University. Responding first responders will gather pertinent information, formulate a plan to respond to the threats, and resolve the incident. Local law enforcement, fire, EMS, school administrators, and staff experience a realistic training environment that has given them the opportunity to partner and collaborate in addressing an active shooter event on campus. To give you some perspective, the first few units on scene will roll in immediately and search for the suspect to engage them and stop them from killing. Subsequent deputies develop contact teams to assist the primary deputies in looking for suspects or suspect, develop plans to locate victims, and evacuate those who have sheltered in place. Then we'll begin to evacuate the evacuation procedures to escort paramedics to the injured as soon as possible. This takes time, and that is why we ask our community to prepare and do not be afraid to act if you're able to do so. Deputy personnel involved in the active shooter training will encounter multiple obstacles that will force them to incorporate medical rescue and evacuations. The Sheriff's Department regularly trains deputies in active shooter scenarios to prepare them for the unexpected. Although we hope we do not have to handle this type of call, but if we do, we will be ready. And ready is what we're doing today. The safety and well-being of a person, whether in Los Angeles County or elsewhere, will always be the utmost priority for the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. I would like to thank Biola University Department of Campus Safety our Norwalk station for their leadership in helping put this together, the Master Field Training Officer, Frank Montoya, and the training instructors from our tactics and survival training staff, and our members of the Special Enforcement Bureau for their efforts, planning, and foresight to keep our community safe and hosting and participating in this training event. And just as I turn it over to the next speaker, I've been telling a lot of our deputies and officers and our role players that when I recently met with those brave and courageous officers from the Monterey Police or Monterey Park Police Department that responded to the active or the mass shooting that occurred there about a month ago, they actually told me that they had participated in an exercise just like this. And when they were, as you can imagine, with no hesitation going into that building and running across the carnage that they did, it was this training, this type of training that they referred back to as suggesting that if it wasn't for this, they wouldn't have been as prepared. So that's just to emphasize the importance of all the work that's been done by everybody involved in this. And now it gives me great pleasure to introduce my partner in this venture, Chief John. I'm going to say Chief John O. Introduce him, and thank you so much for all of your work and partnership that you've done. Thank you, Chief.
Yeah, thank you so much. Sheriff, I would like to express our sincere gratitude, to you for being here today. Truly means so much, to us. We are comforted knowing that we're not walking this alone as a campus. I also like to, thank our university leadership. President Barry Corey could not join us here today because he's out of the country. All the outside agencies that are present here today, we're extremely thankful. And everyone that worked extremely hard to put this event together. The fact is that students enroll in a college campus to seek an education, to develop themselves personally and professionally, to build their future. And as such, in doing that, these students expect a safe environment, to be able to study and live, freely. After the 2007 Virginia Tech active shooter incident, most chiefs of public safety across the entire nation came to the realization that no campus is immune from this senseless act. Here on our campus, we've taken significant preparedness steps, and I will mention just a few. On our campus, we've developed a threat assessment team. And the reason for developing a threat assessment team is, can we prevent certain situations? There are methods to follow up on information that we receive, either from community members or non-community members. We've invested heavily in a very robust security apparatus for our campus, which includes a mass notification system, which is text message based, and also a public address system, which include outdoors and public address as well. We've invested in building controls, building access controls system, locking mechanism inside classrooms, dorm rooms, and other areas that will enable students, faculty, and staff to be able to secure themselves indoors if something were to be happening on our campus. We've invested heavily in camera technology, which has helped us significantly from a proactive and reactive standpoint. We've invested in Stop the Bleed kits inside buildings because we realize that that may become useful to our campus and the community at some point. Something that we hope never have to happen on our campus. We've worked extremely hard to identify what we refer to as emergency building coordinators inside each campus building. And their role is in the event of a threatening situation, they will help us to get people indoors. All the same emergency building coordinators are equipped with handheld radios so they can communicate what is going on in their respective building to the incident command post, so help can be sent that way. We've implemented customized training for our students, staff, faculty, and our entire community, which includes an annual campus-wide lockdown exercise. We conduct frequent training sessions for our officers using our very own campus building, because we understand intrinsically that we're going to get there first. While other external agencies are responding to our campus, including Los Angeles County Sheriff Department, we cannot afford to sit on our hands. We've also conducted joint training exercise with deputies from the La Mirada station and Norwalk station as well. So our main objectives here today is to put our multi-agency response plan to test. A key question is, does the left hand know what the right hand is doing? Do we have any gaps in between? If we do have any gaps in between, how do we close those gaps? What can we learn? Because we have to do better. This subject of active shooter is not something that's going to go away anytime soon. And to us, finally, what do all this mean? All we want to do is we just want to put our best foot forward to keep our campus safe and to make our students feel safe. Thank you all.
I'm Melvin Murdoch, the Chief of Police at Tulsa Community College in Tulsa, Oklahoma. What you all have witnessed today is the epitome of building relationships before the real thing happens. Chief John Odescova, he brings this same level of zeal and commitment to public safety across this nation for each university and college. In his office as the president of the International Association of Campus Law Enforcement Administrators. And I had the good sense about 22 years ago when I was here to hire him as a student worker. And as a student worker, he immediately began to excel. And as you can see today, he is a leader par excellence. Chief, thanks for the invitation. Sheriff, it's a pleasure meeting you and all the valued guests here. It's my pleasure for just being here.
Well, good afternoon. My name is Michael Thompson. I'm the Chief of Police at Arizona State University Police Department. And I want to thank Chief Odescova for inviting me out today to participate in this active shooter exercise. Having been involved in these types of trainings myself over my 35 years in law enforcement, I can tell you that this is as close as you can get to actually going through a real scenario. It is important for the officers to experience this. Your adrenaline starts running high, your heart rate increases, your respirations increase. Even though you know it's training, it's still as close as you can possibly get. It's important for the administrators to be able to participate in these things because they know now what to expect on just a smaller scale of what would happen if this really was to happen at this university. And also to include the students. I'm impressed with the way the students reacted today and participated. This is no easy thing for them to do, and it's beneficial for them as much as it is for all of the first responders that are here today. And so we in Arizona also do similar types of training, and I'm honored to be here, but we always take a little bit of something back. And I will be taking several things back to the state of Arizona that I've collected here today. And very impressive on the coordination response and training that was put together. It was very detailed. And again, all I can say is it's impressive. So I appreciate the opportunity to be here, and thank you.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Los Angeles County Fire Department Acting Chief Deputy of Emergency Operations, John O'Brien. On behalf of our Fire Chief, Anthony C. Maroney, we'd like to thank Sheriff Luna and the entire Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department for having us out here to be a part of this multi-agency active shooter drill here on the campus of Biola University in the city of La Mirada, one of the communities we serve. We look forward to training and learning from one another while we work alongside our first responder peers, including the Biola University Department of Campus Safety. Thank you, Chief, for having us, as well as the deputies from Los Angeles County Fire Department, or Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, excuse me. As always, drills like these are a good opportunity to continually engage and work closely with our local law enforcement partners, especially when it comes to unified emergency and mass casualty response and management. It goes without saying just how vital it is that we always remain prepared and ready, not just for natural disasters, but also for unexpected large-scale incidents and responses. Recently, we have sadly seen headline after headline of these types of multi-injury mass casualty shooting events far more often than anyone ever should. And many of them so close to home, as we recently saw in Monterey Park and Half Moon Bay. Knowing this is our reality, training exercises like today's are necessary for all of us so we can prevent more harm and hurt and do what needs to be done to keep our residents and communities safe. Our fire department developed its own active shooter response training and policies in 2014. Our members are constantly exposed to violence response trainings throughout their career. Our firefighters actively participate in multiple internal response to violence drills, as well as exercises with regional, state, federal fire and law enforcement partners. Since we know active shooter and violent incidents can happen anywhere, we train with houses of worship, universities and schools, amusement parks and hospitals, in every environment possible, from the beaches to the deserts and everywhere in between. Our fire department looks forward to taking away the experience from today's exercise and incorporating it into our knowledge and skill set so our firefighters are better equipped to respond and save lives. As a reminder, if you are ever caught in an active shooter situation, these are the industry identified best practices for handling an active shooter incident, and they're summed up in a 3-word mnemonic: run, hide, fight. Number 1, always be aware of your environment anytime you are entering a building. Take note of the 2 nearest exits. They can be critical should an event happen. If you're in an office and an active shooter event happens, stay in that office and barricade the door. If you're in a hallway, get into a closed space and barricade the door. As a last resort, and I repeat, as a last resort, attempt to take the active shooter down. When the shooter is at close range and you cannot flee, the chance of survival is much greater if you try to incapacitate him or her. And as always, when the time is right, pick up the phone and call 911. Again, thank you for allowing us to collaborate with all of you so we can better protect those who live, work, and play in our communities. Next, I'd like to introduce Council Member John Lewis from the city of La Mirada.
Good morning, everyone. I have the honor to represent the city of La Mirada, the public safety, and I want to thank Biola for having this event. This is a great event for our city. I am a Biola graduate. I graduated here in 1994. So it's great to be back on campus. And one of the reasons I came to this school is because of the safety of the area, which is the city of La Mirada. So I want to thank some of the members of our public safety team, because La Mirada is the 47th safest city in California out of 482 cities. And we're the top 10 in LA County. So, and that doesn't happen by accident. You have a lot of great people working for our city and our public safety, and we work very closely with the city of our Biola University here, the campus safety. When I moved here, I see a lot of campus safety officers coming down my street just patrolling outside of Biola. So they do proactively patrol their own properties around here. So it's a great thing to see them in conjunction with the Biola Public Safety and the La Mirada Sheriff here. But again, I say this doesn't happen on accident. So we have Ann Haraxon here, from the head of La Mirada Public Safety. She's back there. Let's give her a hand. We have Sheriff Robert Luna here with us, and Robert Luna has a lot of great deputies here. We thank you for the job that you're doing in La Mirada, keeping us number 10 in LA County and number 47 in the state of California. So, being the safest cities in California and Los Angeles County is saying a lot. So, we appreciate the work that they put into here. We have Norwalk La Mirada Station Captain Chris Johnson back here. He works the station over here in Norwalk, and he's the head captain in La Mirada and Norwalk here. So a lot of hard work put in by them. We have Sergeants Rodriguez, Gonzalez, and Hinojosa here somewhere today. They're back there. Sergeant Rodriguez. We've got Jose Amaya right there, Public Safety, La Mirada. So again, most of all, the city wants to thank Safety Chief John Ojesakoba for his hard work in organizing, preparing, and implementing the active shooter training drills here. This participation doesn't happen by accident. We have a lot of work goes into this, and we have a lot of participation from outside agencies. So this is what keeps La Mirada safe. This is what keeps Biola safe. So these are the guys that put in the hard work. So the city wholly supports these drills, and thanks Chief O for taking the lead on such important issues here. It becomes especially important when we see what happened at Temple University recently, where a campus safety officer was killed protecting a student. So they do put their lives on the line, and they do a great job of protecting the students and keeping everyone safe, not only in Biola campus, but outside as well. So I want to thank Biola Safety for doing what they do in the city of La Mirada, because when something happens here in Biola, the campus, it happens to the city. So we are intertwined with what happens here and what happens outside the city. So I want to thank them for putting this together. And Chief O, as he's affectionately called here because his name has so many letters in the last name, but he's not only the chairman of the Public Safety Commission here in La Mirada, but he's also the president of the Association of Campus Safety Administrators. So he does a lot of hard work and a lot of heavy lifting in the city here. So let's give him a hand for putting this together and organizing and implementing this. And it's pretty evident that his accomplishments exceed the number of letters in his last name. So he's a wonderful guy, and we're glad that we have him here for not only for La Mirada, chairman of the Public Safety Commission, but also Biola Campus Safety. So once again, thank Biola for inviting the city to be here, and thank you all for working so hard to put this together. Thank you. Let me introduce Matt.
Thank you, Councilman, and we're delighted to welcome you to this campus. I'm Matthew Hall. I'm the Provost and Senior Vice President of Biola University, and we would wish that a day like today wasn't necessary, but as has already been mentioned to you, we're all too familiar with recurring headlines of tragedies on campuses, in particular in higher education. So we see this as a remarkable opportunity to give a model, a collaborative model of how different agencies and institutions can partner together in our community here in Los Angeles County and in La Mirada to demonstrate how important and urgent it is that we work together in these situations. I'm really grateful for Chief John Ojesakoba and his leadership. We're also very proud of him at Biola and the team that he leads that has done a remarkable job in organizing this event today, and to Sheriff Luna and so many others who are here. We also have partners from other institutions of higher education here in Southern California who are with us today as we all seek to learn together how to be prepared in the situations that we're facing. We also are aware at Biola, we have been a neighbor in Los Angeles County since our founding in 1908. And so for us, a key part of this stewardship is what does it look like for us to be good neighbors in the community in which we find ourselves? And that's our commitment here, I think, to everyone that you've heard from today. What does it look like for us to be good neighbors and to collaborate and communicate effectively so that we are prepared, so that those that come to our campuses to live, to learn, to work, to study, they do so safely and well prepared for any circumstances that might emerge. Thank you again for joining us today, and God bless you.
So how has the landscape changed is what you're asking from 1985
there's been a drastic change. Obviously, the percentages I read off from FBI statistics show that mass shootings, which is 4 victims or more, not counting the suspect, have gone up over 50%. When you look at this crisis that I call in our country, you wonder, is it more people with cameras, better reporting by the media? And although all that could be true, at the end of the day, we have more shootings. We have more shootings at public places like our educational campuses, places of worship. You know the list, it's long. And this is why we need to do this training. What you see out here, what you've seen for the last several hours is public safety partners who are absolutely committed to saving lives. We get a call that somebody is firing gunshots. We don't wait. We're going to run right in. We're going to try to, give me a second. I never mind being interrupted by a police helicopter. And by the way, that's one of the assets that this department is very fortunate to have, that can respond not only anywhere in this county with emergency services, but really anywhere in the region as an asset. But going back to the communication and coordination that has to happen. See, when you hear about these incidences around the country, we study them, we read about them, and we learn what went well and what didn't. And when things don't go well, it is our obligation as law enforcement leaders to look at those challenges and what we could have done better. And I'm very confident that here in Los Angeles County, with all the partners you see around us, that we're doing exactly that. And we're exercising this. So in a way, this is a message not only to this college campus and this specific community, but all the communities that we serve, that we're ready. We don't want it to happen. Statistics tell us it will happen. And this is where we do challenge our leaders at a national level to do more about guns, to do more about mental health, so that we don't have to do this over and over. But here we sit, ready to respond to anything that may come our way, anywhere we're called. Yes, ma'am. Yes, I don't have a list of them in front of me, but our training staff is amazing. Again, studying other incidences that have occurred, not only on a college campus, but anywhere that an active shooter may strike. We're constantly working with community partners to make sure that we are ready to respond and really uplifting the community with the confidence that they need to have to make sure that we're going to be there in our time of need. All right. Thank you very much for covering this story. I appreciate all of you. Thank you.